So Lucy and I are first going to talk about the first step in the job search process is really determining where you're interested in applying for a position, how to really start your job search. And there's kind of a number of techniques that you can use. Lucy will probably agree that the most important thing is to really focus, first of all, in the area that you're interested, you have an interest in being employed, whether that be food service, healthcare, or any type of customer service. It is always important to keep in mind as well transportation, because you do want to make sure that whatever position you're applying for, you have appropriate transportation, whether that be public, a vehicle, whatever you need to get to work every day. In addition to that, there really are a number of sources that you can use in terms of searching for a position. Number one being Indeed, going in the internet, going to specific job websites. Most employers do have locations where you can apply in person or you can apply online. In terms of resume writing, what would you say, Lucy, are some of the most important keys?
I believe most of the schools actually help out the students fill out their resumes. So what I look for is that they have all their information in their resume, that if they fill out the application, it's nice and accurate and that it's legible, that we can actually read and see what they want. So,
filling out the application, that's another key point, and that's really every step along the process is you're really the product. You're selling yourself as a product. So it's important to make that first impression and to really make a strong impression, and that starts with the filling out the application. You do want to make sure that you read through the directions that you're follow directions, because that's important at the start, and when you land whatever position that might be, making sure that spelling is correct,
legible, that you can read who you're calling.
Also making sure that the references that have been listed are okay to contact, that you have permission to do that. List work references. If it's maybe a first position, either a teacher or an instructor,
a guidance
that's
counselor,
always helpful.
Yep.
And then really the next step is interview techniques. This is really the second stage in the job search process. So the first rule of thumbs, and I really can't stress this enough, is dressing for success. And you want to make sure that, again, you present that first impression that's the best impression you possibly can. So that starts with to
me, being responsible, coming to the interview by yourself, not being, I know everybody's nervous when they go to an interview, but not being so shy. Ask questions, like we said earlier, be prepared, bring your resume, ask questions, know what you're going into, know what job you want that you're looking for.
And it's so important to be, as part of that preparation process, there's the presentation, then there's also making sure that you're on time, because again, that's another indicator. If you're, as an applicant, if you're late for the interview, the first thing an employer is going to say is if they're late for an interview, then it's likely that they're going to be late for work every day as well. So those are just very small things that really add up over the course of time. It's really important as well to be, and I think, and Lucy, you probably agree with this, is that it's important to be educated about the employer. So make sure that you've done your research. About the employer, whether it's Hannaford, whether it's Lowell General Hospital, whether it's Walgreens, any number of employers. It's important that the interviewer know that you're really interested in working at that particular company.
What positions they look at, what you're going to be doing, what you're looking for to do for work.
Yeah, and also attitude. Attitude is definitely key. Particularly any type of business is really customer service oriented in some respect. So whether you're dealing directly with the public or you're dealing with staff within the company, so having that positive attitude, being calm, being confident, smiling, those are all those soft skills, and that's the key to success in any position, whether it's your first position or whether it's 20 or 25 positions down the road. If you have those soft skills, then you're going to put yourself in a position where you can succeed, throughout your career then too.
And you'll get your call back. Like there's certain things we look for not to do at an interview, like don't chew gum, don't use your cell phone. I was talking with my colleagues this morning. I had an interview this morning, and 3 times the cell phone went off. And on the 3rd time, the applicant said to me, "Can you give me 1 minute so I can answer the phone?" I'm like, Okay? So those are things that you don't want to do. Don't even bring your cell phone with you. Keep it in your purse, keep it in your car. Just don't bring it in because it doesn't set a good example of what you're looking for, that you're interested in actually looking for the position. So.
And really, as an employer, we're as much as as much as the candidate is really evaluating whether or not they want to work for a particular employer, we as employers are looking at the applicants to say, is this person going to really represent the company well? Is this person going to be
long-term? Yep.
Yes. Is this person going to be long-term? Is this person going to be friendly to a customer who comes into the store? Is this person going to be able to get along with their coworkers? Attitude is one of the main reasons that a lot of employees will fail in a position. So attitude can either be a positive or negative. For you. It can work to your advantage or against, depending on how you use it.
I agree.
It's also important too, after the interview, make sure that you have the name and the title of the person you interviewed with. And it's always a good idea to send a thank you. So whether that's
or even a phone call, yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Even if it's a matter, of going someplace, picking up a few thank you cards, sending that out. All those little details are what really makes you stand out to an employer.
I always tell, when I do little fairs at my store, I always tell them, make sure you say thank you for taking the time to see me, because obviously everybody's very busy, and we do take the time, to see as many, I know at least I do, to see as many people as I can. Even though I'm not looking for 20 people, I'll interview 40. Just because I want to get the right candidate for the right job. So, like she said earlier, it's very important that you're, be yourself, be honest, be prepared. And if you're not sure, ask questions. You know what I mean? Make it easy. I make my interviews as easy as possible because I personally don't like them.
Yeah. And that's so important too. Is
make them comfortable.
Make them comfortable, and as you said, make sure that you're really yourself during the interview process too. Because if you kind of more or less present yourself as something you're not, you may get through to the point where you're offered a position, but then may not succeed in that role too.
Couple of weeks, then
yeah, and it's also important to ask questions of the employer. In general, those are really the most probably the key points in terms of the beginning of the job search process.
So we will be having a job fair at Lowell High School on Thursday, May 1st from 3 to 5. So we welcome everyone to come in, participate, ask questions, fill out your applications. So we look forward to seeing you that day.